We are from Loan. We are talking about PTPTN. PTPTN is a loan that are giving out to students that need extra money to pay their tertiary education. So, what does the public and authority thoughts on this issue?
Hello.
Hi,
Can you introduce yourself?
my name is Iwani.
Yes.
I'm currently working in Shalam. I have working experience nearly 2 years, and I'm graduating from Uni 10 in 2016.
So, how was your experience taking the loan? Does the PTPTN loan help you in certain way?
Yeah, sure. It's pay for my tuition fees, my house rental, and then the balance I will pay for my expenses such as food, and house thing.
How was your experience paying the PTPTN? Do you feel any burden, like any commitment that you have to do this kind of thing?
The loan he said is commitment, so I don't feel such a burden. Such as my salary can pay for my loan and the extra will be paid for my expenses.
If you don't mind, can I ask you how many you pay for a month?
Around 300 for my both foundation loan and my degree loan. Total the both is nearly 80,000.
So, last question. Do you would like suggest to your colleague or junior or maybe your future children to take PTPTN?
I would suggest if there is only the PTPTN loan, so the future need to work hard on find another loan.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say actually PTPN, this kind of scheme is a failure to show that actually it's a total failure.
Yeah.
Because you can see, you check back all the financial report from PTPTN. Personally, I think every time they are facing the financial crisis because they face a lot of problems whereby the borrowers didn't pay back the loan. But so actually the scheme and initially is a failed state.
Right.
Yeah. Then but another one I would like to say actually they made their promises. I would say is they didn't do a real proper research. I would say so
Right.
because you need to know there's a theoretical and another one is practical.
Right.
So basically they're saying right now is they will base on your income and ask you to pay back the loan.
Right.
So right now currently they changed the situation whereby those who get 1,000 and above they need to pay back, right? Previously they are saying that 4,000.
4,000, yes.
Yeah, but right now they
Little-
break the promise and
Yeah, they did.
they change it to 1,000. But right now there's no news again
Yeah.
because they say they will delay this proposal.
Right.
So basically you can say actually the planning it seems really ineffective. I would say is like they didn't really prepare well. All they do is research on theoretically, but they need to go what you call turun padang or go and meet the borrowers, understand what is the
Practical
situation.
sense of it, yeah.
Yes,
right.
correct.
And how would you think they would, so if you were to plan one on your own, like an act or a law or a promise, what would you do in order to make more people pay back their PTPTN loan? From your standpoint?
Initially, I think from the first stage, they need to make sure that those borrowers are really in need of the loan. You
Right.
get what I mean, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because I see a lot of borrowers, actually they are from what we
Well-off
call
families,
yes
yeah.
T20
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even like upper middle class,
Yeah, yeah.
which mean that actually they misuse or abuse this privilege. You know, I saw some of them they are using the PTPN loan to pay for their car loan,
Yeah.
to pay for their house loan.
Also, yeah.
So actually it's for the tuition fees, but you see they misuse it already. So at first stage, I think the government should making the condition more stricter, and they need to
Right.
check one by one,
Right.
not like letting those what we call the people to take the opportunity
Right.
to misuse it.
Right.
Then the second part I would say is actually I think based on income to pay back the loan. I think it's a very good idea, but they need to make sure it need to break down to very details, which means Not saying that I straight away put one category is like 1,000 to 2,000 and your payback is 10%,
Yeah.
something like that. I would say is you need to see back the conditions.
For now, what have been informed by PTPTN is that the manifesto that was proposed before this, PTPTN loaners will be asked to pay their loans once they have obtained a 4K degree, right? But being frank, to be fair to PTPTN, it is not realistic. I mean, that kind of manifesto, even though Pakatan have promised it, but the promise has been made without proper information, because once Pakatan have took over, knowing all the problems facing by PTPTN, some of their borrowers didn't even pay their loans. So, and it's quite hard for PTPTN to sustain or to operate if they have to wait for the borrowers to obtain 5,000 monthly salary. And as for now, the PTPTN chairman, Mr. Wan Saiful, have actually just cleared these things. And what did he mention is that once your salary have reached 2,000, I guess, you are required to start paying for your academic loan, for your PTPTN loan. Yeah.
Okay, what was your reaction when you heard the changes of from the first policy? They said like you have to postpone the payment. Through the now the loan payment deduction, percentage of deduction. Like before they said that if you get 4K then you have to pay. Now they change like your income 2K then you have to pay. What was your reaction to it?
I think most important is that I might suggest to PTPN as well, is to come up with a proper and reasonable solution for the payment scheme. Nowadays there's still graduates who earns less than 2,000 per month, even though they are. Like I was a fresh graduate 10 years back. I earned my first basic salary was about 1,800, and nowadays after 10 years there are still fresh graduates that earn the same amount as what I earned before. So talking in terms of that perspective, I think what is most important is that PTPTN should focus on come up with a better proposal, a better solution for borrowers. How much do you earn and the percentage from that earnings? If they earn a lot, some of fresh graduates can get a very good job, earn 4,000, 5,000 a month. So make them pay a bit more. If you can earn more salaries, pay more. It doesn't mean you have to pay more because of your salaries, but whatever that you borrowed from the government, from PTPTN, you must pay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It is not a matter of fulfilling the manifesto pledge, but if you borrow 20,000 from the government money, which is the people's money, so you have to pay 20,000, because I myself was a PTPTN borrower, and I've fulfilled. I've completed my payment. It took me around 5-7 years, I think, to complete my payment. But you have to be very committed. Whenever you have, doesn't matter how much your salary, but at least pay a bit.
So after we hearing all the thoughts and opinions on PTPTN repayment, so what we learn from this issue is that PTPTN is still the best loan given to the student for tertiary education. But then students need to know and to study more about PTPTN before they study. They shouldn't take granted on PTPTN and thought PTPTN as a scholarship. Well, PTPTN actually is a loan.